family, how y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. I appreciate each and every one of y'all so much. Big ups to one of my subscribers, Lex. I really want to thank her. She sent me a nice complimentary gift just because. It wasn't no birthday, it wasn't no special occasion. She really blessed your girl, gave me a beautiful mug, some socks. For all y'all who don't know, I am a socks and Starbucks addict. So if you ever want to do anything, listen, socks and Starbucks gift cards. If you cannot donate, okay, I'm a sucker for those things. But she looked out for me, y'all, and she gave me a mug, she gave me a pair of socks, and she hit me off with some money, with some moolah, and with a beautiful card. Her and her son put the gift together. So again, I want to give a big ups to Lex for looking out, blessing your girl just for the hell of it, not because it was a special occasion or a holiday. So I really appreciate when subscribers take the time to just email me, hit me up, see how I'm doing, or just send a nice gift. I really appreciate that, because we are dealing in some struggling times and people don't have to do a goddamn thing. And truth is, a lot of people cannot afford to, so I get it. So when somebody takes the time out to do something like that, I can't help but be grateful. So big ups to Lex. Appreciate you, girl. Thank you so much for making my day so great. And that money was right on time, honey, because I needed to get me some little womanly things, you know what I mean? So you just be sending blessings and don't even know when people be in need sometimes, you feel me? So I appreciate it. And it's a few regulars like Torian who looks out, you know. So, and then then I have my subscribers, like King, and it's so many. I don't want to name certain people and just single y'all out, but you feel what I mean. Candace Tendo just bought a mug from me. So it's so many y'all. So please don't take it personal if I don't say your name, because I want to go right into these topics. I'm long overdue. I have not uploaded in a minute, and this is the reason why I'm uploading, because I do have to go out and do my walk. I got other things I got to do, and I do owe y'all this content. So, you know, I got love for all of y'all. So do not take it personal like, you know, I'm only calling out certain subscribers. It's nothing like that. There's too many of y'all. Too many of y'all show me love. So I cannot possibly name each and every one of you. So anywho, and nevertheless, y'all, let me get into this right away, because again, it's long overdue. So the first topic, the first recipe that's on the menu with Cafe de Paris, I wanted to talk about your girl Amber Rose. When groupie benefits expire, come to an end, a lot of people have been pretty much going in on her. Like I said, I fell off for a minute because I've had so much stuff I had to do. I had to put in orders and all kind of stuff. Valentine's Day coming up, so I'm doing a lot of Valentine's Day tumblers and stuff like that. So I just been kind of peeping the bushes, and evidently Amber Rose is fed up with men. She's tired of men all of a suddenly, and it's no surprise why she's tired of men, modern day men. So she basically, I'm going to put up the article where she goes in. Amber Rose plans on being single forever. I don't want to have sex. It's so gross. She further goes on and says, the dating scene is so bad, Amber Rose has made a dramatic decision. Unfortunately, the model and actress has chosen to remain single for a long time. During an interview on Sophia with F podcast, hosted by Sophia Franklin, the Philly native spoke candidly on her exes, which includes stars like Kanye West, Savage, and ex-husband Wiz Khalifa. And it's actually way more than that. And when I give y'all the list, y'all might as well just grab you a Snickers bar, because it's going to be a while. I didn't realize she had more men than the Navy, but we'll talk about that after this article. But now that she's a mother of two and sees how treacherous the dating pool is, she doubts she'll ever be in a relationship again. It's worse than ever. They're pretty disgusting out there. They're effing gross. Like, I want to be single for the rest of my life, she explained. I don't want to share my house or my life with anyone. I don't want anyone around my kids. I don't want to have sex. It's so gross. I don't want it. However, she may just be tired of men, and admitted that she'd be open to the idea of being a lesbian, but has no qualms with being alone. Rose added that a perk of being single is that she doesn't have to share her bed with anyone. Most recently, Rose was in a 3-year relationship with Alexander A.E. Edwards, with whom she shares a 3-year-old son named Slash. The two ended things months ago, and AE, music executive at UMG, has since started dating Cher, who's 40 years older than him. If I hadn't met younger men in my life, I would have never had a date, because older men just like me, all that. Okay, hold on. Because older men just didn't like me at all that much. Do you know what I mean? I have had a couple of boyfriends that were hovering around my age, but they just didn't like me for some reason, the singer said on the Kelly Clarkson show. Listen to Amber Rose and Ty's interview on Sophia with F podcast there, but basically that is what she's saying. And I want to reiterate, I want to go back on this. All of a sudden, Amber Rose is tired of men. And if you look at her track record, this is nothing new. I've heard many women say this before. And usually when a woman gets to this point in her life where she's tired of men, most of the time it's because she's been ran through. She's had too many. And she sees that everything that she has tried, all the failed attempts, having children, everything she's tried to do to lock and lock a man in, trap a man in, and has not worked successfully. She has failed at that. She gets to a place in where she becomes bitter. She becomes frustrated, and all of a sudden she hates men. And this comes from the fact when you have been with so many, and every effort you have tried in trying to conquer one has failed terribly. So you get to a broken place and a bitter space in which you have given up on men and you are just tired of them. So with that being said, let's look at her track record, because I did not realize, I knew a few. I knew of Kanye West, and I knew of Savage 21, but I did not know the list is much bigger, you guys. So these are the men she has had relationships with. Wiz Khalifa from 2013 to 2013. I can't read this morning, y'all. I ain't had my coffee. Wiz Khalifa, 2013 through 2016. Relationships with AE Vice President. That's the one she had her second child Slash from. In 2018, Monte Morris, 2018, 21 Savage, 2017 through 2018, Val Kermokoveski, 2016, 2017, Terrence Rose, 2016, Miles White, 2015 to 2016, Odell Beckham, from 2015 to 2017, Odell Beckham Jr., Colson Baker, 2015, James Harden, 2015, Kanye West, known as Ye, 2008 through 2010, Trayvon Haynes, from 2005 through 2008, and Ernest, whoever the hell he is, from 1998 through 2000. These are the men she has had encounters with. Ben Simmons, 2017, Akon, 2017, Offset, 2017, Eric Andre, 2015, Amy Schumer, 2015, Nikki Madaris, 2015, Quincy Brown, 2014, Samuel Odo, 2014, French Montana, 2014 through 2018, Nick Simmons, 2014, Rosa Acosta, 2011, Rosa Acosta, 2011, okay, I already said that, 2011, Brooklyn Brand, 2010, Amari Stoudemire, 2010, Drake, 2010 through 2016, Darrell Revis, 2010, Eddie Murphy, 2010, Rapper Fabulous, 2010, Reggie Bush, 2010, Joel Santana, 2010, Louis Marie de Castle Bahajic, 2010, Sean Diddy Combs, 2009, 2018, hell, who ain't been with him, and Amaya Scott, 2007. This is other individuals who she has been rumored to hook up with. Kyrie Irving, 2018, Sin Santana, 2016, Joe Budden, 2016, Lil Wayne, 2015, Nick Cannon, 2014, LeBron James, 2010, this is allegedly, y'all, Chris Brown, 2009, and Madonna, 2009. Amber Rose is a 39-year-old American personality born Amber Rose Levanchuk on 21st of October 1983 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She is famous for ex-girlfriend of Kanye West and a career that spans 2007 up until now. Her zodiac sign is Libra. So other than that, she really had no relevance. Wasn't like she was a singer, wasn't like she was doing anything relevant in the industry. This is how she gained her notoriety. This is how she gained her popularity, by dating and being with multiple men. Now, I don't know if she's been with the majority of these men sexually or not, but nevertheless, you know, most of the time when it comes to these industry dudes, they're not going to really deal with you unless you're putting out, unless they're making sure they're benefiting from you. So I can't say for sure. She has a clean slate with the majority of these men. But we can say this. There's not a whole lot to know about Amber Rose other than she has not had success in relationships. She became really famous through Kanye West. You know, I remember them walking on the red carpet with a bottle of E&J, drinking it straight out the bottle. I mean, she probably pretty much brought out that ratchet side in Kanye West that was already there, but she just helped it manifest itself even more. So nevertheless, Amber Rose, in her mind, evidently, from the statements that she's making, she's not holding herself accountable at all. She's tired of men. She's not saying that I'm tired of what I take myself through with men. She's just tired of men. And truth be told, I know females, I've had friends who have partaked in all type of Jezebel behavior, you know, being promiscuous, you know, making themselves a thought target, you know what I mean, making themselves available and convenient for men, thinking that they're going to get something beneficial only to be used and be taken advantage of, and all of a sudden you hate men, you tired of men, when you are the one, in fact, indeed, that keeps putting yourself out there. Now, when Amber Rose made this statement, of course, everybody gave the side eye. Nobody really cared, you know, because we know her from what we know, image-wise, that she's known to be with multiple men in the industry. And this doesn't just have to be the industry. You can be with multiple men in your city, multiple men on your job, wherever you choose to take your Jezebel or groupie ways, whether if it's in your neighborhood or your job, wherever city you live in. You know, when you become too well known and everybody becomes very familiar with you and you get that reputation, it's really hard for men to take you seriously. And 9 times out of 10, if you do pick up any guys who are willing to take a gamble and deal with you, they have their own ulterior motives, but they know in the back of their mind not to never wife you, not to make nothing official with you. You have men that go through that dick thirsty drought where they're willing to take a chance and be with a female knowing she's already well known, or either she's very young. Most of the time it's guys who are very young, who don't know no better. Like, I remember when she was with 21 Savage, you know, he's much younger than her, and she basically had him like a puppy. She had him, you know, acting very simpish. I think at one point in time she had him dressed up in some costume, saying that he was a simp or a wimp or something. But anyway, it was something very degrading. And him being young and dumb, so happy to get the attention of an older woman who was I'm sure way more experienced in bed and probably turned his ass out. He was basically in a sunken place. So he didn't see anything wrong with it until, I guess, he started getting simp shamed. A lot of guys started calling him out and making a mockery out of him, and I guess that's when he pretty much caught on that, nah, I'm being simp shamed, you know, people calling me out because I'm acting desperate and like a little puppy. And Amber just was smart enough to know at that time she's already been ran through with all the older guys. So older guys or men that are more experienced or know of her type of females, they know what type of female she is, they would stray away from her, you know, because they knew what she was. So she would pick up younger guys, and I'm not starting to notice a lot of women are doing that. A lot of these females that have ran through a lot of multiple men, they're picking up young guys that are still wet behind the ears, still got Similac around the mouth, who don't know about women, who are still sexually inexperienced, get their first blow job, get a real good blow job, probably have multiple ones, but it's different when you're getting it from an experienced female, and get turned out. You get what I'm saying? And that's what ended up happening. But even after a while, these young guys start catching on. These young guys get tired of these females like Amber Rose simping them, being overbearing, bossy, trying to handle them like they mama. And I'm sure that's what Amber Rose was doing with 21 Savage, because she couldn't do it with Wiz Khalifa and all these other guys that she been dealing with or whatever. So she wanted to get somebody young and experienced, and a lot of older women who have hit the wall, who've been ran through. And let me address this. You don't have to be an older woman to hit the wall. You could be 13, 14 years old to hit the wall, depending on your promiscuous behavior and how many men, multiple men you have been with. So you don't have to wait till you get in your 40s. I know females who have hit the wall at 14 and 15 years old and have had way more men, you know, than the NFL, you know. So it's just not, it's a myth to state that because a woman is a certain age, she has hit the wall. You got some women who are my age who can count how many men they've been with off the muscle. And you got these females that's 18, 17, who have already passed multiple body count. So I want to debunk that myth. Don't think because you got a younger woman, you're playing it safe. Some of these younger women, you know, been ran through, you know, been had, you know, because they started off being sexually active at a young age. You get what I'm saying? So you got some older women who really didn't start getting sexually active until they got much older, probably in their 20s or their 30s. So not every older woman has hit the wall, and not every young woman is exempt from not hitting the wall. Because I know some young females out here who have been with multiple men and already got 6 kids and not even in their 30s. You get what I'm saying? So please debunk that myth that you got to be over the age of 35 to hit the wall. No, it's your body count and your history of your promiscuousness that really rates your body count, okay? Because I'm tired of, you know, people pushing that narrative. So anyway, Amber Rose is pretty much fed up. She's been with enough of men in the industry to realize it's not all what it's cracked up to be. Sometimes you get more than what you bargain for. You have so many women. You have a lot of these women like Krishan Rock, and it's several of them. Angela Simmons, who love to be in the limelight, who love to be associated and affiliated with men in the industry. Evelyn Lozada from, you know, Basketball Wives. The list goes on. You have a lot of these beautiful, stunning women out here who can't catch a break. Amber Rose is definitely a beautiful woman. You know, she's not overweight. She still looks good for her age and stuff like that. You know, as much as these men knock this type of women, but the moment they get and they can smash them, they'll smash them. You know, they'll trash them and talk trash on them on these men podcasters publicly, but privately they thirsted and to do anything to get with these type of females. But what these females find out is dealing with these industry men is not all what it's cracked up to be. It's a lot of bullish you got to put up with in order to become a part of their lifestyle. And these industry men, they are smart. Not all of them are like 21 Savage. A lot of them ain't slow. A lot of these guys, they know they the shit. They know they got a lot of money. They know they got a lot of women already checking for them. So they are smart as far as knowing when to give a woman just enough. They know how to give these females kibbles and bits just enough to lure them and keep them around. And then when they have gotten tired of their company, they ready to switch up their women like they switch up their cars and their sneakers and their jewelry. It's the women who get the raw end of the deal. You know, you get used to these men spending money on you, even if it's just for a damn bag, for a Prada bag, you know. I don't know what other expensive purses they got out there, but these men know how to trinket you. They know how to give you what's called industry trinkets. They'll buy you purses. They'll take you out to the fine dine 5-star dining cuisine restaurants. They'll take you to the most exquisite clubs with the MVP, with the VIP, where you get to see all the other stars, encounter all type of celebrities. So they know how to give you just enough. But after a while, you will find out the kibbles and bits that they giving you. The VIP section, popping the bottles, and the 5-star exotic hotels, and even just getting the limelight and being in their presence. You start seeing other sides of these dudes that the Hollywood world does not show. I'm sure Amber Rose really saw or whipped the Kanye West's real demeanor off the red carpet. She's dealt with his attitude. She's probably dealt with seeing him drunk, talking crazy out the mouth, being real disrespectful. Not only this, a lot of females don't want to say it, but a lot of these guys are not that great in bed in the industry. You got to realize a lot of these guys smoke weed, they drink. A lot of them are impotent from not really living a good, healthy lifestyle. That's why you have a lot of these men, they're taking all type of sexual enhancement, gummy worms and bears and stuff, trying to get it up and everything. And that's the thing about being an industry groupie. You get to see these real guys behind closed doors. You get to find out, God dog, this dude got all this money and all of these women are checking over him, but he is just as dry as a box of 3-day-old crackers in the bedroom. His sex game is weak. It's watered down. He's dry as hell. You finally get to be in the moment with this guy that all the women are so crazy about. This millionaire. You getting ready to get down. You getting ready to do the grown up. You getting ready to do your thing. And while you're doing your thing with this, top tier, high value industry man, whatever you want to call him, you find out this dude is whack. Not only that, you find out he has like no real swag in the bedroom. You know what I mean? He's doing he's humping you like a rabbit. He's not gentle. He's not, you know what I mean? He's not really stimulating you. He's not getting you off. You got to realize these type of dudes, they're with multiple women all the time. They're not into pleasing women sexually. They're into women pleasing them sexually. They're not going down. They're not going down on you. They're not making you feel like you're that chick. If they are, hell, that means in many cases they're like that with every chick. And you know what I mean. Even if you find out they're that good, the thing is, you still can't lock them in. You still can't get them to commit to you, to marry you, to make you the official girl. So you're still in competition, even though he's taking you to these fine dining stars restaurant. He's riding you in his Lamborghini, his Phantom. You're still in competition with multiple other women because you're not officially his until he put that ring on it, until he actually like claims you. You're not just somebody he's popping up on the red carpet with. You're still going to go lacking, especially if you really want a relationship, because the truth of the matter is, most of the time when women deal with these type of men, they want a relationship. They want a commitment. They want to be that it girl. They don't want to be another groupie. And I believe that's what Amber was trying to do. She was trying to land someone that will make her that it girl. And it just would not happen. And a lot of women don't understand. When you go around tainting yourself in your neighborhood, all these young females who don't know no better in high school, you with this guy one week, you with this guy another week. Anywhere a woman, any place in which, any area, whether if it's the industry, the neighborhood, your job, or whatever, you gain that reputation of letting multiple men smash you. You've been with multiple men. You're just going to be, you're just going to be the pass around chick. You know what I mean? Guys are going to pretty much treat you like a blunt, pass, puff, puff, pass. That's it. Amber is the puff, pass. And what she's tried to do is she's tried to use her looks, she's tried to use her sex, and she has a beautiful body, beautiful woman, but upstairs she ain't all the way up there. You know what I mean? The elevator don't go all the way up. She's one fry away from a Happy Meal. You get what I'm saying? She one sandwich away from a picnic. Somewhere there's a mental malfunction, because listening to how this woman talks in her interviews, it lets me know she's beautiful, but she doesn't have a lot of common sense, and she doesn't make good judgment when it comes to how she conducts herself with trying to find a man to commit to her and take her seriously. So Amber Rose, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. Amber Rose is tired of men because she's made herself so readily available. Like Little Caesars, she has made herself so convenient, hot and ready for any and everybody. She's been with black men, mixed men, white men, young men, older men. Every man she has tried, it's been an epic fail. She's tried to switch up the game. Well, let me date white guys, that ain't work. Let me date younger guys, that ain't work. Let me date older guys, that ain't work. Let me date the A+ celebrities, that ain't work. Let me date the D+ celebrities, that ain't work. You know what I mean? So, anyway, Amber Rose, a lot of women who have puff passed themselves around, they finally reach a breaking place in which they get fed up. Especially the majority of her men are with somebody now. Kanye West is with somebody. Her last child's father, AE, he's with somebody. He's with Cher, which is a billionaire, and she's 20 years his age, but a lot of people make a mockery out of it, but sometimes a lot of these guys, they're finding out they'd rather be with a woman that's older because she's more settled minded. She's been through enough in life, so she's not as extra, she's not as demanding, you know what I mean? Long as some older women, some now, the older they get, the more they just want the simple things in life. They ain't all extra and overly materialistic and stuff. And this is the reason why you have a lot of these younger guys going for older women, because they've been with a lot of women they age, young women. They realize there's a lot of drama that comes with it. It's a lot of chaos. They'd rather deal with somebody older who've been there and done that. So that's probably why AE is dealing with Cher. Not to mention she was a millionaire, so she's not going to need him. But at the same time, all these older women ain't dumb. She ain't gonna be sitting up there spending all her money on him, buying him the best of everything. You get what I'm saying? She been there, done that. Older women ain't slow. You got a couple of them that's lonely and desperate and to spend their whole SSI check, on a man, you know what I mean? But for the most part, ain't too many older women, especially of Cher's status, that's gonna go for the okie doke. But that's what Amber Rose's problem is. She just done been ran through. And at this point, I won't be surprised if she decides to join the alphabet community. That's what a lot of these women are doing. A lot of these women are going that way, and I'm not knocking anybody. If that's your lifestyle, I have rainbow uncles. I got a brother, you know what I mean? That's in an alphabet relationship. So I don't knock what anybody decides to do. You have the right to love who you wants to love. But I have a problem with the ones who only want to go that way, not because that is something you've always had a strong attraction for the same sex, but you're just going that way because, or you're considering going that way because you can't get anywhere with the opposite sex. I don't like, I think it's disingenuous. If you've been that way the majority of your life, you know what I mean? I can respect that more than somebody who you just outed that you tired of men and that you would consider going the other way. Because let me tell you something, those relationships ain't easy either. I know women who have went that way out of temporary frustration for men, only to find out that, women are a piece of work too. You got to realize too much of the same thing is going to be chaotic. Women by nature, we're both emotional. We both insecure. We both got jealousy issues. That's just the natural thing that comes with being with a woman. So when it's the both of y'all in a relationship, your partner is extra insecure because not only she got to worry about you not becoming prey to other women, she has to also worry about you not falling back into the alignment of wanting to be back with men, because she knows you have a history of being with men versus somebody who's always been that way. You get what I'm saying? So it's more complex. You get what I'm saying? So I won't be surprised. Don't be surprised if she end up on the red carpet with a woman. Do not be surprised. And you got a lot of broken women that's coming together and having these relationships because they basically don't want to take accountability for moving on too fast, you know, putting themselves out there too much, jumping from man to man, and you know, they rather just move on and get with somebody else versus doing some strong soul searching and self-evaluation, going to therapy, getting spiritual guidance so they can find out and do some you know, deep spiritual cleansing so they can narrow down and dissect the problem. That way they're not going out here making the same mistake, because if you're a chaotic person, it don't matter if you be with a man or a woman, you're going to bring chaos to whoever you with. You know what I mean? So but that's basically my intake on Amber Rose. So sis is tired of men because she's been with too many of them. No brainer, right? Hell, even Elvis could see that. Anyway, moving right along, I want to talk about y'all boy Kanye West. Speaking of one of Amber's exes, Kanye West. So as we know Kanye West has always been the type of guy that's always had controversy surrounding him. And I don't think Kanye West is crazy. I don't think he's crazy. I think he's just the type of guy. He wears his emotions on his sleeves a lot. And it comes off as crazy. It comes off as crazy. It comes off as volatile. But I just think he really wears his his emotions on his sleeves. And people who don't know them, and because we're so used to you know, black men being very hostile and having so much pride, it's when you do have a few that are very transparent, it comes off as, you know, being overly emotional. It comes off as him being hyper masculine. It just comes off as, you know, you being a drama king, because we're not used to men being very transparent and showing their emotions. And anytime a man does, he does catch a lot of heat. He does catch a lot of flack for it. You know what I mean? We're in a society in which men are not allowed to be emotional. If you are emotional, you're a simp, or you be a hyper you know, you got hyper masculinity, or you got mental issues. You know, and this is the reason why you have some men who aren't emotional. Instead, they get disrespectful because they know if they show any emotion, they fear that people will belittle their masculinity and say they're less than such. So they come off disrespectful by using excessive profanity and just, you know, acting thuggish, you know, when it comes to uncomfortable situations that take them out their element. Kanye West is not so much thuggish. He's more emotional than that, and than anything, and it comes off as, you know, him looking crazy. And I don't think the man crazy. I think he has had his crazy moments, but and I do think he can be overbearing and aggressive, and that comes with being a Gemini. Gemini is most Geminis are bipolar as hell. No disrespect to Geminis. I got love for y'all. My daughter is a Gemini, and I love her dearly, but baby, she don't have her crazy little moments and stuff. But nevertheless, talking about Kanye West, who has been complaining about his co-parenting relationship with Kim, you know, and basically he's expressed over and over that he does not like how Kim Kardashian keeps exploiting his daughter, and he's already made it very clear that he does not want his daughter constantly being on TikTok and things of that nature. Matter of fact, I'm pulling up the article where I can read word from word exactly what he said. Let me see. Okay, because I know Kardashian, she's 41, he's 44, and as you know, the daughter North has been on TikTok a lot, and this is something that Kanye is dead set against. He's spoken on this several times, and he's very frustrated with Kim going against the grain and not respecting his wishes for their daughter that they share together. Kanye West has made multiple posts stating his feelings towards Kim Kardashian, allowing their daughter North to be on TikTok against his wishes, against his will, and he's been very angry about that. Kim, on the other hand, has been very angry as well, because we all know Kanye is also a very controlling ass guy. And basically she replied that, you know, Kanye was trying to control and manipulate her situation so negatively and publicly. And she said she basically was fed up with Kanye constantly attacking her on interviews and on social media. And she said basically that's more hurtful than her putting North on TikTok, you know. And she further went on, as a parent who's the main provider and caregiver for the children, since she has them the majority of the time, she claims she's doing her best to protect their daughter, but she's also allowed her to express her creativity, and that she wishes with adult and she does so with adult supervision. I will say that most TikToks I've seen, Kim is right there, but that don't make it right either, just because the parent is there. Here, I know some parents who was letting their daughters boyfriend spend the night to the house, and hell, she ain't saw nothing wrong because she was there, you know what I mean? So one doesn't justify the other, you know. And you know, she basically also said, you know, divorce is difficult enough, but Kanye's obsession with trying to control and manipulate everything has made it even more difficult. And she stated from the beginning she wanted nothing but a healthy and supportive co-parenting relationship for the sake of their children, but he continues to make it impossible. So nevertheless, we can go back and forth about that, but I will say this, gentlemen, and don't worry, I'm gonna get on ladies too, this is what happens when you are not selective about who you choose to breed your seed. First of all, Kim Kardashian was always an attention-seeking woman. She's always been very explicit down to having a sex tape put out there. Okay, she's always been overly open. She has no sense of discretion when it comes to what should be private and what is acceptable to post. Kim Kardashian has always been very open. She's done reality shows, being very transparent with her relationships. She's always been a put it all out there type of female, and she's always been one on Instagram wearing bikini, lingerie. She loves to show her body. She's so comfortable with showing herself that she does not even think there's a time and a place in which she should not be showing or revealing so much of herself, because she's so comfortable. You got some of these people that they have become so addicted to stardom and cameras that they forget how to save some type of privacy, to keep some things to yourself. But you have some stars that are gifted in doing that. You have some stars you don't even know what their children look like unless you have to look up a picture. You know, you have some stars that have been very protective of their children. Some of them you didn't even know had children. Like, I didn't even know the rapper Common had a daughter. You know, didn't even know that. He was just that private, and I don't blame him. LL Cool J, you don't know who his children are unless you have to go literally pull up a picture. So it's not like it can't be done. You have parents that have done it. They have made it their business to protect their children's image and identity. Kim Kim Kardashian has never been that type of chick. She's always put all her kids' business out there. I mean, she's always put her own business out there. So you know she was gonna do that with her children. She's put her own family business out there. Her mama done did it. They done had the Kardashian show. These people have never left anything to the imagination. So for Kanye to feel pressed and feel some type of way, sir, this is what you signed up for. Not only that, sir, keep in mind, these courts have a lot of favoritism when it comes to women. Okay, whenever it comes to these family courts, unless you can prove that mother's unfit, she's on crack, or something major, they're not going to enforce these women to do much of anything. But this is the woman you chose as your baby mama. You chose to wife her knowing she's done a sex tape, knowing she's been with multiple men in the industry. You chose to wife her up anyway. And even she got tired of your ass. She couldn't deal with your bipolar Gemini escapades and stuff. And she got tired of faking the funk. She tried to tolerate you for the image. But after she done accomplished getting the babies and getting more money out you, whatever, she was just over it. Because, again, everybody knows Kanye West on the red carpet, but she had to deal with the real Kanye West behind closed doors. The Kanye West that other people don't see, don't live with. The explosive Kanye West. The angry Kanye West. You know, that nobody else gets to see. Nobody else gets to see that. She saw all of that. And behind closed doors, she got tired of trying to live this lie as if she had a normal relationship. And it wasn't. It was very volatile. It was very chaotic. And she reached a breaking point, especially after she done had those kids and she knew she was going to get money from it. And she divorced them. You get what I'm saying? But men, keep in mind, watch how a woman conducts herself. If she's one of those women who love to put herself out there, love to be seen, very attention driven, she's not going to spare your children from that. Kanye West, being a man of common sense, because he's not slow, I don't know why he did not know any better. Why he did not think it would have ever come to this. Why he did not believe that Kim Kardashian was not going to protect his daughter from constantly being on TikTok. That's what she does. That's what she does. She's always been on social media. She loves to be seen. And I hate to say it, and I don't like to speak on other people's children, but I believe their daughter, she's going to have that attention thing honest anyway, because her daddy's an attention-seeking person, and so is her mother. And I see it, you know, just being a mother and having a child myself, there's things that you will notice about a child, especially if you are a parent and you're very observant. But I can tell that she's already very she's going to be very attention-seeking. She's on social media all the time, you know what I mean? And she's not even a teenager yet. So it's going to continue to get worse. And as you can see, Kim Kardashian be right in the background, laughing and kikiing and applauding her daughter. You know, she's sitting in the background, basically proud of her daughter, being attention seeking like her. Now she's only 9 years old, and she's constantly on TikTok all the time. She's doing this at 9. Imagine when she gets 13, 14, 15. She already, because these kids are smart, she already knows that her parents are very famous. And as she becomes older and she really understands the perks of having famous parents, I think she's going to become more and more outrageous. I just feel like she's going to be one of those rich kids that's going to really be off the chain, that's not gonna have no filter. You can pretty much tell Kim can't do nothing with her. And I'm gonna say this with all due respect. I may step on some toes, but I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it 100. A lot of Caucasian women who have children from black men, a lot of them that I notice, they have a very, and this ain't the case with all. If it doesn't apply, you ain't got to reply. But a lot of them cannot do nothing with these mixed breed kids because these children have that black side. They also have those black genetics of an attitude of rebelliousness that some of these white women cannot identify with, that black women can. And this does not discredit parenting. It does not mean black women are better mothers and white women aren't. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is mixed kids, they have those black genetics in them. And a lot of the times, some of these white mothers, because of their culture, them being very docile and allowing their children to have too much room to express themselves, and because we know that white parenting is different from black parenting. This is nothing to be disrespectful, but we've seen white kids in Walmart tell their mother, shut up, be quiet. I don't want to eat that right now. Matter of fact, I was somewhere recently, and I've seen this white woman with her child was talking back and all of that, and she was trying to explain to the child why she doesn't need to behave that way. Billy, you need to behave. You know that is not nice. You know that is being mean. I did not teach you to be mean. You're supposed to be nice. Why are you acting like that today, Billy? I thought we were going to have a good day today. I'm like, are you serious? You're up here trying to empathize and explain to him why he needs to act right. When you know us, we'll been slap the shit out you right in the grocery cart. You better get your ass right together. You get what I'm saying? It's just different parenting styles. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but we just don't tolerate what they tolerate. And a lot of these women who have these mixed children from black men, they don't know how to really conquer that black kid rebelliousness, or lack of disciplinary. They really don't know how to conquer it, because they can barely conquer their own kind. So when you put in that and when you add in that blackness with it, that's a whole horse of another color. And a lot, I'm just saying, I've seen a lot of mixed moms who can't do nothing with their kids, with their black half-breed kids. They talk back to them all kind of way and everything. Now, there are some who do not play the radio. So I'm not going to say all women have this, because all women who have mixed children have this problem. Because I do know a few, they will whip their kids' ass if their kids get out of control. But you can just tell the Kardashians, on the other hand, Kanye West did not really look at the full picture before he decided to have a child with her. Kris Jenner Kris Kardashian, whatever Kim Kardashian's mother name is, she could never do nothing with Khloe and Kim them. The tradition keeps going. Her daughters were always out there, always. If you ever watched the show, when I was a fan of the show, I used to see how they would talk to their mom like she was their sister. Things they would say to Kris Jenner, I couldn't say that to my mom. I couldn't say that to Miss Felicia. It would never happen. You know what I mean? So they've always been like that. That's why it's imperative that as a man, you watch how a woman gets along with her family, how she communicates with her mother, how she conducts and carries herself, because she's going to pass those same traits to her daughters. I know a lot of ratchet mothers who have created ratchet daughters. I know a lot of promiscuous mothers who have created promiscuous daughters. You just have some women that rather be a friend instead of a parent. And that's the kind of vibe I get with Kim. She's too busy trying to be North's friend instead of her mother. I'm not going to be sitting in the background of the TikTok video smiling and kikiing every time I'm seeing you constantly seeking attention. You know, as a mother, you have to learn how to help your daughter stray away from being so attention seeking. Once you get your daughter accustomed to seeking attention, and the moment she realizes, you know, doing all these reenactments and acting silly on TikTok isn't giving her the attention she wants, she's going to up the ante if it means sleeping with men or doing other things to get attention, because she wants to keep getting those likes, keep getting that validation and approval. I think Kim Kardashian is creating a monster because it's already going to be genetically in her to be attention seeking, which is even more because her daddy's attention seeking and her mother is. That's going to be in her blood. No way around it. However, you can't stop it, but you can slow it down. You can level it out. You know what I mean? She don't need to be on TikTok no every day, no 5-6 times out the month, you know, once every 3 months, something like that, you know, but you got to be some boundaries. One thing about kids, you don't give them boundaries, they go overboard, and when shit get out of hand, God forbid one day Northwest go on TikTok and say something recklessly and not realizing that because her parents are all stars, certain things she can't say, certain things she can't do, and she's going to become a teenager. At that point, she's going to feel entitled to saying what she wants to say. And that's when things are really going to get tense between Kim and Kanye, because Kanye going to feel like, see, this your fault because you been allowing our daughter to get on social media. Now we can't get her off social media. But at the same time, because of that fame that she's going to receive because of who her parents are, she ain't going to feel like she got to listen to nobody, not even them. So I believe they definitely going to have their work cut out. I believe North is going to be off the chain. No disrespect to anybody, child, but just seeing how Kim thinks everything that North is doing is cute, just seeing how Kim laughs and finds it entertaining when I see that North has a certain type of aggression with her facial expressions and stuff when she's saying things. I'm like, girl, you about to create a monster. Then in a few minutes, this little girl will get so comfortable, she's gonna be telling you to shut the fuck up on live TV, and you're gonna be sitting there like, how dare you talk to me like that? It's gonna come a point Kim not gonna be able to do nothing with North, cause she's letting this little girl transition too quickly from being a child to a teenager. She needs to learn how to stay in a child's place. You know, I don't know why parents are so comfortable with their children being on social media under the age of 13. You know what I mean? I just think that's too young for her to be exposing herself to that amount. I agree with Kanye West on that. I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but I agree with that. You cannot allow your children to exploit themselves because children are still emotionally underdeveloped. She can go on there and say something wrong and not realize how detrimental it is. You know what I mean? She could sit on there and say something very offensive, knowing how technology and knowing how the world is. The world is so unforgiving. Knowing how social media is. All it takes for you to say the wrong thing, and once it's out there, you can't take it back. All it takes because of who she is and who her parents are. She says the wrong thing, social media is going to drag her. And she may not be ready at that age for dragging. That's something only adults can handle. And truth be told, a lot of us, we can't even handle it. You know, we can't handle being dragged too much or whatever on these platforms. I think Kim is not making her daughter spiritually, emotionally, and mentally ready for what she's signing up for. Kim should know better, because she's been exploited before. She knows what she had to go through and what she's still going through. But anyway, that's my opinion on Kanye West. Don't complain about your baby mama. That's who you chose. Like I tell these females out here, don't complain about your baby daddy. You chose him. That's the woman you chose. You could have chose any woman on this planet, but you chose her to be the mother of your child, sir. So you got to deal with it. Plus, these judges, Y'all know they're not too fond of black men. They're not going to hear none of what you got to say. You can file all the complaints and stuff you want. We know these court systems favor women more than they do men. So you just going to have to roll with the punches, okay? And it is what it is. But hopefully they get it together before it's too late. Anywho, my last thing that I want to comment on before I get ready to shut it down, because I really was going to do different segments on each one, but I'm like, I don't want to keep re-uploading. So I wanted to leave off on this note. I want to talk about the Tyre Nicholas incident, because I really feel like I don't see too many bloggers hitting up on this, especially male content creators. I really need y'all to get on the ball, because y'all are sitting up here still talking about black women and everything else. Y'all are not really hitting on this Tyre Nicholas incident, this new Rodney King, I say 2.3 since we're in the year 2023 situation that has taken place. You guys, I'm seeing more black women, more black female bloggers in general speak on the Tyre Nicholas situation. You men, you black men, you brothers, y'all need to be sticking up and defending your fellow brethren. Y'all need to be doing content on that situation every goddamn day. Do a petition on making sure these guys get the time that they deserve, because that could have very well been you. That could have been very well been your son. That could have been your nephew. You guys know y'all are the biggest target when it comes to the criminal justice system. And this is the reason why I'm so disappointed that a lot of y'all are not hitting up on this. Y'all should be beating this incident like a dick. Y'all should be beating at it. Because this affects y'all. And I cannot understand for the life of me why y'all still talking about wigs, weave, black women who need to lose weight, and who black women are dating and stuff like that. Until this situation is done and over and justice is served, I need my brothers. Y'all need to start stepping up, okay? Now, let one of these black female content creators go dragging Tyre. Guess what? Y'all will do a whole 2-hour stream on that, especially if she's popular and she has a lot of views. But y'all will not address anything about him. And I'm disappointed in that, because all of the energy y'all put in the dragging black women, y'all need to be speaking on Tyre Nicholas. This situation has been going on for years, and me having some type of experience with law enforcement, even though I was in the very bottom of this pyramid, I think being a correctional officer is one of the lowest bottom of the pyramid jobs you can do in law enforcement. That's just my opinion. Okay, that's like the bottom of the barrel. You know what I mean? So it is just, you know, I will use some examples, but I don't want to disrespect other people who are in those professions, who do have to do the lowest type of level of work. So I'm gonna be respectful and just say this. My prior experience, I have come to discover that there's a lot of corruption in corrections, meaning not in just the jails, also in the streets, and within the law enforcement career as a whole. There's a lot of corruption. Now, I just did hear recently that they did fire three firemen employees. One of them was a female, because rumor has it, and I don't know, because there's so much going on with this, that's why I didn't speak on it, because this is one of them situations, once you start doing content on it, you got to keep looking into it, keep up with it, because so many things keep unfolding, and I just don't have that amount of time. As y'all can see, I haven't been uploading near as much as I normally do, because I've been so busy. But unlike these other male content creators that's on here every goddamn day, and they don't want to talk about this, they keeping up with beef and all this other stuff that's not even necessary right now. But I've experienced a lot of level of corruption, and y'all have to realize the law enforcement agency is no different than the Bloods and the Crips. They stick together. even when it comes, you know, to unethical and unlawful situations. Now, with the Crips and the Bloods, I could respect them more because at least you know what they represent. You know what they about. And they never pretended to be something other than what they were. Law enforcement, on the other hand, is a different type of game because the only thing they have in common is that they will stick together, but the problem is they're sticking together for the wrong cause. They're not being ethical and they're not being lawful. A lot of the things that they are doing within these agencies is just straight up foul and it's low down. For all of these officers to come together and physically assault and attack this man in the manner in which they did, and the add insult to injury, for it to be known as 5 other black men who did it. I'm sure had it been any other, we probably could have saw that, because we know racism does exist, but it's even more of a slap in the face when it is your own kind. And I really feel like deflecting is not just something black women have. I really believe deflecting is something that black men experience as well. The way you feel about yourself is how you perceive other people. And in my mind, I feel like they treated him and perceived this man as a ninja because they themselves feel like ninjas. They don't feel worthy, so therefore they did not feel like he was worthy of for them to protect and serve correctly. I did not watch the video, don't want to watch the video. I've already experienced the heartache of seeing what George Floyd went through, seeing what so many black men have gone through. I just cannot emotionally take myself through that, but from what I heard, it is awful. And when a man screams out for his mama, that's already in itself the underlying detriment of what this young man was going through. Now keep in mind, I'm for black men and black women keeping each other in check, but this is not the time to utilize this situation to make a mockery out of black men, to make a mockery out of black women, because this man called for his mother. Whenever a child, I don't care how grown you are, is in a very traumatic situation, the first thing that constantly comes to your mind is your mother, especially when you feel your life is especially when you feel like you are encountering a major threat that is very close to ending your life, and you just know at this point there's nothing you can do. It's your natural reaction to call on your mother. That's just a natural reaction because that's the first person you saw. And I'll say this, I'll say same thing with George Floyd. I believe that anytime a person calls on their mama, it's because they know their life is getting ready to end, because your mother is the first person you see when your life begins. Okay? And I really believe that anytime a person is in a situation where they see their life is leaving them, they call on the person who gave them that privilege of life, which is the reason they called their mother, because they knew they was not going to make it. And it is very, very sad, and I'm so tired of black men and black women making a mockery out of, you know, men who have become victims of police brutality, and they want to use it for content to prove that they want to bring up everybody was bringing up George Floyd's old records, things he's done in the past. That had absolutely nothing to do with that man putting his knee on his neck. I don't give a damn what he did 30, 40, 50 years ago. He did not deserve to go out the way he went out. That man had a child. You know, he was cooperating. He was not fighting that officer. You put your whole weight on somebody's neck, that's straight suffering. He couldn't do nothing about it. And that's the same thing with this young man here. And the reason why you have some women that are nonchalant and can make a mockery out of these type of situations, because they never had to experience it. Not as much as black men experience it. So unless you have encountered that type of trauma, it's easy to make a mockery out of it. It's easy to be nonchalant about it, because you don't have to encounter it. And I really wish black men and women would stop using these situations to make a mockery out of black people in the community. You got people going after the man's mother, saying that this happened because he was raised by a single mother. I'm like, I'm so tired of the Samuelites. I'm just over it. This has nothing to do with this young man. This had everything to do with 5 ignorant ninjas with a badge. And come to find out, there's more and more being exploited. It's not just those 5s. Now, I don't know how true it is. Allegedly, the ringleader of this whole situation, let me make sure I give y'all his name correctly, because there's so many of them. They're saying that he allegedly set it up. Yeah, Demetrius Haley, supposedly, Tyree allegedly is dating his ex that is on the same job as him, and it was basically some type of setup, and I won't be surprised if that's the case, because it just, the level of excessive force, it was not warranted. It was something very personal that was going on. We don't know this for a fact. This is alleged, but that is what they're saying. Hopefully nobody's not spinning this narrative just to make up more stuff, to make their story sound more interesting, but time will tell. But I will say this much. There is a lot of corruptions and corrections. You have a lot of officers like this, whether they were working in the street or in the jail. A lot of these officers, they have an alliance with each other. And a lot of the times, this ain't something they just started doing overnight. This is something they've been doing for years, which made them become very comfortable. The 5 officers that were involved in this was not their first time. They have done other corrupt things. That is why they felt so comfortable. They didn't care that the cameras was there. They didn't care enough for at least one officer to say, nah, man, no, we doing too much. Let's do this the right way. Not one. And the reason I feel like not even one had enough sense to come forward to say anything, because they all been doing this together. Or you have had officers who do report officers and they suffered major repercussions. Law enforcement is not a team. I don't care what they say. Officers are more corrupt than inmates, more corrupt or just as corrupt as criminal offenders. Now, this does not take away from the officers that are professional in what they do, that don't abuse their authority. You do have some good officers out there that are very professional. They don't abuse their authority. They don't take advantage of citizens, who are not that knowledgeable with the law. You do have a few out there, but the ones that are good officers, they'll never stand out near as much as the ones that are making it bad, which is the 5 officers in this case. Desmond Mills, Justin Smith, Emmett Martin, Demetrius Haley, and Tadarius Bean. You just have some officers, they get badge heavy. I've seen it where I worked at. You start reporting, even as an officer, you want to do the right thing. They'll lie to you and tell you, if you see an officer doing something that should not be done, you report it. You report it if you want to. If you report it on an officer that has a lot of clout, has a high position, they'll get you up out of there before they get rid of that high status officer who's doing corrupt things. Like I said, they worse than the Bloods and the Crips. At least the Bloods and the Crips, you know what they are. They true to who they are. These are the law enforcement. They're the biggest gang. They're the most corrupted gang in the United States of America. They will throw their own people up under the bus who do not partake in their corrupt shenanigans. They will all come together and band together to come up against one officer or a few officers who are calling them out on their bull. You know what I mean? So it will not surprise me how much more unfolds out of this case. We're probably going to discover more and more corruption with all of these officers. Like I said, this doesn't just happen overnight. Most officers that resort to this level of violence, it has been something that has been going on continuously for a long period of time. That's what makes them so comfortable. We have one officer here. His name was Ernest Ferguson. You can look it up on Google, Savannah, Georgia, Ernest Ferguson. He shot a young man here in my hometown. And what ended up happening was the situation got investigated into, Internal Affairs looked into it, and they saw that he was in the wrong, surprisingly, and they terminated him. This guy, come to find out, he's been having issues in law enforcement. When he worked as a deputy at the sheriff's office or whatever, he had things in his file then that he was aggressive, that he had a couple of run-ins that he didn't handle professionally. So he was still able to get a pass and get hired as a law enforcement officer. A lot of these officers who already have history of corruption or not being able to handle themselves professionally, the next agents, they so short-staffed, they so desperate, and they want somebody that's tough on crime, they'll take a chance. They want to hire a savage. They want to hire somebody that's going to be hardcore, that's going to be very bullified, because in their mind, the harder the officer, the better the laws are enforced. But in actuality, these officers, they don't know and realize when they're going too far. They don't have a breaking point, and it ends up leading them into worse in other situations in which it brings out the animal in them. You know, it just continues to escalate. Their behavior gets worse as long as they have that badge and that gun in their possession. And what happened was here, he was terminated because they did find him in the wrong for unethically shooting that young man. And he's been out. I'm not sure if he's out on bond. I don't think he's had a trial yet, but I know currently he's out. And this man has had nothing but bad luck since the shooting, since he caused that young man's demise. Ever since he got fired from the Savannah Police Department, he was caught shoplifting. That was the second incident. The first incident, he got pulled over for DUI, and the second incident, he got caught shoplifting. He had just completely derailed since he got terminated from being an officer. And I truly believe the reason why he cannot find any peace in his life since the loss of his job, and more importantly, since the loss of that young man whose life he's taken, because he has not truly repented. He has truly shown no remorse. And I really believe that young man's spirit is following him, because he has not been able to get it together since the death of that young man. Like I said, he's just he's just spiraled out of control. He's just been going downhill. You know, DUIs, you drinking and all this other stuff, because you thought you was going to have that badge for the rest of your life, and you was going to keep getting away with doing what you was going to do. That badge made you feel like you was somebody, and now that you don't have that badge, you don't feel like you feel like a nobody. So he's drinking himself to death, trying to cope. And he has had friends who have said that his life has not been the same since the death of that young man. His life has not been the same, and it hasn't. You know, we all make mistakes. We mess up. You know, we don't always use our best judgment. But when you have the audacity to be cocky and in your wrongdoing, and you don't own it, you know, it ends up owning you. And I think that's what happened. He has never owned that he was wrong for taking that young man's life, so his guilt is owning him. He's drinking to avoid not thinking about it, because I'm sure every time he's not drinking and he's sober, his mind keeps having flashbacks of that night when that young man's body went down because of him. And he wasn't in the right. Wasn't like, same thing with Tyree Nicholas. He didn't have a gun. He wasn't armed. He wasn't a threat. It was several other officers there, so you can't lie and say you was by yourself and you felt threatened, you had no backup, and you was just so in the moment with your authority that you just totally lost it and you did not use your best judgment, and it came back to haunt you and bite you. And you know, off former Officer Ferguson, his life has not been the same since. He can't get it together. And I really feel like with these 5 officers here, they're definitely going to get the worst end of the stick, because for one, they're black, and for two, they're officers of the law. You know, so I truly believe the judge is going to make an example out of them. They're not going to spare him no type of mercy. I really believe they're going to make an example out of that. Not only that, not only got to deal with law enforcement, the black community as a whole. The black community, I don't care where they go. I don't care where they go. I would not want to be in none of their shoes. They can't even pump gas. People looking at them with a dirty eye. It has to be a miserable life to know that you were part of that, of such a heinous incident, that you cannot go nowhere just to do something simple because people know you for what you have done. Your face is all over. They'll be better off in jail, prison, because they'll get more peace in prison than they will out here. I don't care where they go. They can't go to Starbucks. They can't go to Walmart. Anybody see any of their face, they gonna look at them with total disgrace. Black and white people. Because you got a lot of white people, they wasn't feeling that incident either. But especially to see it's your own kind, and I'm upset that a lot of these brothers ain't speaking on it. Y'all talking about everything else but this. Y'all need to have a panel with other black men talking about how black men are becoming prey to police brutality. Why y'all can't do a panel 2-3 hours talking about this? Talking about how y'all could come together. Y'all need to petition and force a law against police brutality. Y'all want to do petition against all other female bloggers and all of this other stuff. That's not a threat to y'all livelihood. This is a threat to y'all livelihood. And I'm amazed how much so many of these brothers got so much to say when black women come for black men, but y'all got nothing to say when other black men have caused the demise of other black men. It amazes me where y'all priorities are. Even if you didn't know him, this is your brother. That's your brother. Tyree is y'all. Y'all is Tyree. I don't care if you never knew him, if you never had lunch with him. He's another black man like you a black man. That could have been you that night. Wouldn't you want somebody standing for you, defending you, speaking on this issue, coming together, doing a petition, making this a law that comes into effect that police brutality officers need to automatically get life in prison? This just shows you the priorities of the black community. But as I stated, I'm not surprised that this happened. And it's going to continue to happen. There's a lot of corruption behind the badge. You have a lot of officers that cannot report other officers when they're doing things unlawfully because, unfortunately, they suffer the repercussion. I know that's what happened to me. You know, I reported an officer that was doing things that she should have not been doing, and it ended up putting me in a position in which I ended up having to leave the facility that I was working for or whatever. So nevertheless, you know, this is something that a lot of people do not understand and not to be aware of. Law enforcement, like I said, it is one of the most corrupt gangs. They got nothing on, the Bloods and the Crips got nothing on them, because what makes it worse is they are what orchestrates the community, which is the law. And anytime you have any corruption within the law, you're bound to have a lot of issues. And this is a big red flag. And I'm going to tell y'all something that's going to get worse, y'all. Law enforcement is going to get worse because they're so short on staff. They're letting anybody come through the door now. They're letting anybody. And they're not thoroughly checking these people background, seeing what type of issues they had from the last agency. They don't care. They need to start enforcing that. They need to come out with the bill that if an officer has had any type of aggression in his past career, on his record, on his file, that he needs to lose his certification for being an officer. That way he can't apply anywhere else. But then again, this won't be effective as always, because depending on if the officer knows people in high places, they could sweep it up under the rug to where it's never even brought to the agent's attention. That way they can still get hired someplace else. But law enforcement is just one of those type of careers that I have learned personally. You're never going to be able to conquer it 100%. They're not going to be fair. They're not going to do their thorough research on why officers are quitting. They're not going to do that. They're not going to take the initiative, the extra initiative to look into that. A lot of these agencies, they want to stay blinded. They want to sweep stuff under the rug, because at this point it's about keeping their department fully staffed. A lot of these agencies, they're going to hold on to all of these to officers at all costs, because it's already hard trying to replace officers. A lot of agencies cannot replace them because it's hard to hire people that don't have priors, that don't have mental issues. So they try to hold on to the staff they have, especially the ones that have already been with them a long time, who already know the job, who've been there and pretty much know the ropes. But the problem is, if you know you have officers that are handle themselves in a corrupt manner, you cannot hold on to them and keep them in the agency just so you can have an extra body. It's going to cost you in the long run. Not everybody's looking at the chief sideways. A lot of people looking at her now. She's getting that side eye now. It trickles down, because now everybody's like, oh, wait a minute, 5 officers did this, not one said something is going on. So hopefully ain't nothing corrupt with her, because she's a black female, and y'all know they look for us to mess up. Y'all know they look for us being black, period. They look for us to fail the system. So hopefully she ain't done some shady stuff and knew a few of these officers were not living up to their jobs as officers, and she didn't sweep nothing up under the rug, because her position is going next. And like I said, that is going to make it hard, because that's going to be more overtime for all the officers that are left. We talk about 5 officers, okay? That's going to be a lot of damn shifts that's going to have to be filled. That's what I don't miss about law enforcement, because every time somebody quit or got fired, baby, they will kill you with that goddamn schedule. You would only have like 1 day off within the week. You know what I mean? It was terrible. The sad part is, a lot of these men, I know they got wives, they have children, they're married, they have a family. This decision they made has altered everybody else's lives forever. It's going to be their families that's innocent, had nothing to do with the situation. People know your husband. You know, people know, what your dad does for a living. You know, people know your son. The stuff that their family is going to go through. I noticed I can't find none of them Facebook page. You know what I mean? I think when it comes to high profile cases, I think they have it to where they close certain profiles, certain people's certain accounts. They close it because they know it's going to be flooded with negative comments or whatever. So I can only imagine what their families are going to go through. They are in for a long journey, y'all. This is going to be a long journey. Just the journey in itself is going to be a lifetime punishment for they even make it to trial. If they have friends, they have homeboys or anybody, people are never going to ever respect them. It's like they're going to be walking around with a permanent scarlet letter. And they're going to go to prison. And the thing about it is, they're going to have to live in protective custody for the rest of their lives, because you cannot be a former police officer around other inmates. Okay, that's not going to work. That's not going to happen. Even if you didn't do anything to them personally, inmates do not want to be in population with former officers. Period. Point blank. So these, and let me tell you something, that's a hell of an adjustment. It's one thing to go from being a criminal to inmate, but to go from having authority over inmate to becoming an inmate, that is a different story. When you the ones that's used to giving the orders, when to go to bed, you used to arresting, detaining, you used to locking people down and being an authority, to go from that to never being in prison and jail, and now you going from an officer, a lieutenant, a sergeant. Some of them guys had high rank positions, you know what I mean? All them guys was not rookies, so they've been in law enforcement a long time, and to be working for law enforcement, end up under the authority of law enforcement. Look, honey, karma plays with nobody, okay? Don't be surprised if one of them punk out and commit suicide or something before it's time for trial. Don't be surprised, because the ones who love to give authority, when it's their turn to receive it, they can't handle it. You feel me? These are the same ones that, don't be surprised if one of them don't take themselves out, because the pressure and the understanding of knowing what you're going to have to face. These guys worked in prisons, probably dropped people off in prisons and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They know what they in for. Don't be surprised if you hear one or two of them, they take themselves out before they even get to where they going. Do they have my sympathy? Hell no. I personally don't give a damn what they do. I just hope the family gets the justice that they deserve, and trust and believe they gonna get it, because this is too high of a profile case. Put it this way, if they don't get it, they better move to goddamn Argentina, because they're not going to be able to live in the United States of America with everybody knowing who the hell they are. But anyway, y'all, I have talked long enough. I'm going to upload on my other channel, Mocha's Ladies Lounge. I'm overdue for some content over there, ladies. So if y'all haven't subscribed, make y'all sure y'all subscribe. I am still going to do the psyche of the married man. That's what I'm going to be uploading. I know I'm way overdue. So hit your notification bell. Be on the lookout. Make sure y'all subscribe if y'all haven't already. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha. Represent Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Please keep the Nicholas family in prayer, y'all. Please pray for them while they go through these trusted times. And other than that, y'all be blessed. Take care. Holla at y'all soon. Don't forget to hit the likes up, please. I appreciate it. Bye.